Hello, my friends. Jay Van Ostrand back with you. It is my pleasure and my honor to see you again. Back in front of the big game hunter backdrop, as some of you have called it. Thought it might be appropriate since I was slaying bears yesterday, and it's also the best lighting that I have available to me without moving a bunch of stuff around. That being said, today I was going to talk to you about the old promise plan. Actually, before I move on to that, some of you were wondering what this is. It's actually a Snuggie. You can see the sleeve right there. It's my wife's Snuggie. It looks a lot better on her than on the wall, but works for a backdrop for now. At any rate, on to the promise plan. What is a promise plan? Well, we're going to take those promises that we've been working on the last several days and turn them into an actual strategic plan that we can implement right now. And why am I calling it a promise plan? Well, it's a lot like a business plan. Every single successful business that's ever existed has had some form of business plan. You know, some are longer than others, some are more detailed and complete and follow specific patterns, but they've all have some sort of business plan. And what that basically is what? You know, what do you want? What do you really want to accomplish? You get that down on paper. We've already been going through that. You should have a pretty good idea at this point of what you're trying to do. We've done the magic wand, and that's probably the first one that you should be starting with. You know, what's that one burning thing that's a 10 out of 10 for you that you want to get done right now? Well, let's work that through this promise plan. You know, when? We've already got that too. You know, when do you want to accomplish this? You know, a dream without a date is delusional, as we've talked about. Where is the next one? You need to envision yourself in the promise. You know, whatever your promise is that you're trying to work out, what's it going to look like for you when that's happening? Where are you going to be? Involve all of your senses. What's it going to look like, sound like, taste like, smell like, you know, feel like, so on and so forth. Every bit of your senses that you can involve in it, you need to start envisioning that, what it's going to look like, and get that down on paper. Why? You know, this has got to be about your passion. It's got to be for someone or to show someone. You know, is this for you? Is it for your kids? Is it for your family? Is it for humanity? Is it to show, you know, that person who said you could never do it? You know, I typically wouldn't dwell on any negatives, but, you know, that's turning a negative into a positive. You know, if you're going to show someone that you can do it, all those naysayers that said you couldn't get it accomplished. And whose help do you need? Who do you need in your life to do that? You know, so for example, let me walk you through what I'm trying to do with my 30-day challenge. It's, you know, what I have that clearly defined, when it's going to happen within my 30 days. You know, where am I going to be when that is accomplished? Well, you know, I have a motivation to turn this into a blog, and, you know, I can see myself on that blog. I can see the blog taking form. I can, you know, all of my senses are involved in turning that vision into a reality. You know, why I'm passionate about it. I have, you know, ambitions to help people, to affect people's lives, to grow relationships with people, to help, you know, ordinary people live extraordinary lives, as I like to say. You know, to help people find freedom in their life, however they define that. You know, whether it's financially or time-wise or whatever their definition of freedom and their definition of living their dreams, I want to help people get there. And I think that by finding my voice here, I do that. And whose help do I need? Well, I need some great mentors, and I have them in my life, and I need everybody that's listening to me. You know, if a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to hear it, does it make any sound? I don't know. You know, but without you guys here, my voice wouldn't be heard, so I need you to make this happen. You know, and now we get to the question that probably slows most people down, is how. You know, how am I going to make this happen? That's the big daunting challenge for most people. You know, and it's the question where most people stop, and, you know, you're never going to figure that out by overanalyzing it. You only figure it out by getting into action. And working through these questions is going to help you identify how it's going to happen. The two important ones to focus on, your foundational structure in all this is what. You've got to have that specifically and very clearly defined, and why. It's got to be attached to your passion. It's got to drive you to want to get up and work on it every day. And all that stuff, all that how stuff is impossible to know from where you stand right now. You need to really get down into it, get dirty, and, get this stuff down on paper. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it's got to start for you to have something to grow from. You need to define all these questions as clearly as you can, and, over time it's going to really kind of define itself for you. You only have to travel a couple feet at a time, and if you try and, define too much of the how it's going to happen, life's going to throw you some curveballs that you just won't be ready for. So you focus on the other five, the who, the what, the where, the when, and the how's going to take care of itself, I promise you.